So we've got this Eagles-Packers playoff game coming up, and everyone's going nuts about Jalen Hurts coming back from that concussion. There's no way that asshat doesn't have some rust.
That's bullshit. You think playoff pressure lets anyone off the hook? These guys are playing for keeps.
Okay, maybe. But what about Jordan Love? He's had some decent games, but he's also been inconsistent as hell. Can we really trust him to lead the Packers to a win? He's got one hell of an arm, but that doesn't mean shit if he can't hit his targets.
Love has had some great games. Don't forget that Dallas game. He tore them apart. Seeing those Dallas fans all pissed off was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the running game for a second. Josh Jacobs is a beast and could be huge for the Packers. If they can get him going, it'll open up the passing game for Love.
Don't forget about the Eagles' defensive line. They're monsters. Jacobs is going to have a tough time against them.
True. But if Jacobs can find some holes and get some momentum, it could change the game. It would force the Eagles to respect the run, and that could open things up for Love and the receivers.
That's a big if. The Eagles' defense is designed to shut down the run. They're going to be coming after Jacobs from the snap.
Okay, so back to the quarterbacks. You got to trust Hurts more than Love, right? He's got the experience, and he's been more consistent. Plus, he's got a killer supporting cast.
Experience is one thing, but Love has the stronger arm. Don't underestimate his throwing ability. He's got weapons, too.
I hear you, but Hurts has a better offensive line and a more proven supporting cast. That's going to be huge in this game. Plus, Hurts can run, which adds another dimension to their offense.
The Eagles definitely have a stacked offense, but Love has shown he can make plays. Remember that game against the Cowboys where he dropped 48 points? He can light it up if he's on.
Yeah, but that was against the Cowboys. Can he do it against a top-tier defense like the Eagles? They're a different animal.
That's the million-dollar question. The Packers have a solid defense, too. They were 7th against the run this season.
It all comes down to which quarterback steps up and makes the big plays when it matters most. Both guys have the potential to win this game, but I think Hurts has the edge.
I wouldn't count Love out just yet. He's hungry, and he's got something to prove. This game could come down to the wire.
I can't wait to see how it all plays out. This is going to be one hell of a game.
Agreed. It's playoff football. Anything can happen.
And let's not forget about the coaches.
It's going to be a chess match between two of the best coaches in the league.
I'm curious to see how they adjust to each other's schemes.
This game has all the makings of a classic.
It's going to be a showdown for the ages.
For one of these teams, it's their last game before the offseason.
Someone's season is ending, but for the winner, the road to the Super Bowl continues.
That's the beauty of the playoffs.
So who do you have winning this thing? I'm leaning towards the Eagles, but it's going to be a close one.
I'm going to take the Packers. I think Love is going to shock everyone.
You're nuts. But that's what makes these playoff games so exciting.
This is what it's all about.
It's going to be a battle for the ages.
Let's dive into some of the key matchups that could decide this game. We've talked about the quarterbacks, but what about the running backs? Josh Jacobs against that Eagles defensive line is going to be huge.
Jacobs is a beast. He's got power, speed, and vision, but the Eagles defensive line is one of the best in the league.
If Jacobs can have a big game, it's going to open things up for the Packers offense. But if the Eagles can shut him down, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Love to make plays.
On the other side, you have Miles Sanders going up against the Packers defense. Sanders has had a solid season, but he's not the same kind of back that Jacobs is.
The Packers' run defense has been pretty good this season, but they're not as dominant as the Eagles. If Sanders can find some running room, it could help take some pressure off Hurts.
Another key matchup is going to be the Eagles wide receivers against the Packers secondary. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are one of the best wide receiver duos in the league.
The Packers have a decent secondary, but they're going to have their hands full with those two.
I think the Eagles' passing game is going to be a big factor in this game.
The Packers are going to need to find a way to contain them if they want to win this game.
I'm excited to see these matchups play out.
All right, let's move on to special teams. Special teams can be a huge factor in playoff games.
The Eagles have a slight edge in special teams.
The Packers' special teams have been inconsistent this season.
I think special teams could be a key factor in this game.
All right, let's wrap up this part of the discussion. We've talked about the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers, the defenses, and special teams.
We've covered a lot of ground, but there's still a lot more to discuss. We need to talk about the coaching matchup, the X factors, and our final predictions for the game.
Let's talk coaches. Nick Sirianni and Matt LaFleur, two of the best offensive minds in the game.
Sirianni's did a great job with the Eagles. They've been a fucking machine this season.
He's got them playing with confidence, aggressive, not afraid to take risks.
LaFleur is a proven winner, though. Multiple playoff appearances. He knows how to win the big ones.
He's more conservative than Sirianni, but just as effective. Great feel for the game, knows how to get the best out of his guys.
Should be interesting to watch these two go at it. It's a real clash of styles.
I think Sirianni's going to try to control the pace and force the Packers to play catch-up. He's not afraid to gamble, and he's always pushing the limits.
LaFleur is going to want to control the clock, keep the Eagles' offense off the field, lean on his running game and defense.
It's going to be a chess match. Can't wait to see who comes out on top.
Let's move on to the X factors.
Yeah.
Every game has them. Those little little things that can swing the momentum.
Turnovers are always huge in the playoffs. One mistake can be the difference between winning and losing.
The Eagles have been pretty good about taking care of the ball.
The Packers have been a little more careless. Loves throwing some picks at bad times.
If the Packers want to win this game, they need to protect the ball. Can't give the Eagles extra chances.
Special teams is another big one. Like we said, the Eagles have the edge there.
If the Packers can make a play on special teams, it could give them a shot. Big return or a blocked kick could change the game.
The weather might be a factor too. Supposed to be cold as hell in Philly.
That could help the Eagles. They're a tougher team, used to playing in the cold.
The cold could affect Love's throwing. He doesn't have a lot of experience in those conditions.
We'll see how it plays out. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
All right, predictions time. Who you got?
I'm going Eagles. They're the more complete team. I trust Hurts in a big game.
I'm taking the Packers. Love's going to have a big game. Shocking everyone.
You're out of your mind. But that's what makes these games so fun. Anything can happen.
Exactly. Two great teams, everything on the line.
Should be one for the ages.
We've talked about a lot. Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, defenses, coaches, special teams, X factors, and who's going to win.
Anything else before we wrap this up?
Yeah,
I think we've hit everything, broken it down every which way.
Matchups, strengths, weaknesses, those little things that could change everything.
Even made our picks. Still think you're crazy for picking the Packers.
Oh, cut the crap. Love's due. This is the week he blows up.
If you say so. I'm sticking with the Birds. They're too good. Too much experience when it matters.
Experience only gets you so far in the playoffs. Comes down to who shows up that day.
True. But I think the Eagles still have the edge. More consistent all season. Handled the pressure better.
Packers have been through some shit too. Don't forget they started slow, had to claw their way back.
Yeah, but their schedule was a cakewalk at the end. Eagles have been playing contenders for a month.
Maybe. But Packers got that momentum. 4-game win streak coming in.
Momentum's a fickle bitch in the playoffs.
Yeah.
One bad bounce, one stupid mistake, and it's gone.
That's why we love the playoffs. Anything can happen. Makes it fun as hell.
You got that right. Playoffs are always a wild ride.
Win or go home. Every play, every decision could change the whole game.
Pressure cooker. Stakes are through the roof.
Yeah.
That's what makes playoff football so damn good.
Best time of the year to be a fan.
No doubt. Eagles-Packers is going to be a good one.
Two legendary franchises with a history of playoff wars.
Two rosters packed with talent.
Two of the best coaches going at it.
Two quarterbacks with something to prove.
Gonna be a classic.
Can't wait.
Me neither. This is what it's all about.
Until next time, goodbye.